All right, we're going to continue looking at different types of graphs. And the graph we want to look at right now is a pie graph. Your book calls them circle graphs. And the idea, again, in graphs is to take visual information and convey an idea of quantity. And so in a pie graph, a circle is used and it's cut into sections based off of how much stuff is in each section. And so the proportion or the amount of area that a section fills up relates to the percentage or of whatever category is in here. And so you can think about the entire circle being everything that you have collected, and then in each portion is represented by an accurate proportion of the graph. And so we can visually see this slice is smaller, this one's bigger than this small slice, this one's slightly bigger, and this is the largest chunk of the graph. Let's look at this specifically using ratios of sports. So if we have some data that, let's see here, we get a graph. Let's see if I get my proportions right here. 15. And a very small slice here. All right, so this is my data. And in my data, I have, this is football. These are sports that people prefer. This is basketball. This is baseball. This is soccer. This is golf. This is volleyball. I'll have to point to it. And this is everything else. And if we look at the data, there's 37 football people that prefer or play football. I think this is high school data. 20 that play basketball, 15 that play baseball, 13 that play soccer, 8 that play golf, 3 that play volleyball, and 4 that play other. And so this is a relationship of the number of things towards everything else. And so you can specifically look at the ratio of people preferring baseball to people preferring basketball. As taking the numbers directly. So the people that prefer baseball is 15, and the people that prefer basketball is 20, and that ratio becomes 3/4. So there's a 3/4 ratio between these two chunks. But what we tend to get in pie graphs, again, drawing my graphs will take a little bit here. Get my pie out, make it big. Is we tend to talk about them in percentages. And let me see if my color coding works today. Oh, no, it didn't. Because my line's not complete. Let me see if I can close that off there and see if that fixes that. better. Oops. My lines are just not complete today, but that happens. Color code each part here, and that should get us into the end here. Alright, so each colored section represents a different amount, and I will, there you go. And so these are people who visit the United States, and this is 34% is from Canada, 21% is from Mexico, 7% from other, 19% from Europe, not one country but a whole continent, 12% from Asia, and 7% from South America. No Antarctica visitors. And so we can look at, well, notice we were doing continents here, but we didn't do North America. And so we can estimate North America by our two largest neighbors. We can say, well, if I add Mexico and Canada, right, 21% plus 34%, we're getting at least 55% from North America, as our two nearest neighbors have the most visitors coming across. But visually we can see, if we look at this line here, these two are more than 50%. Visually the area is taking up more than 50%. And so what we're able to do then is we can make these graphs by recognizing percentage. Now the general way of constructing a graph like this is, let's get some data here. So we'll look at the branches of the service. The Army gets 40% of the people going in. The Navy gets 23%. The Marines gets 15%. And the Air Force 22%. I don't have any Space Force data, as we don't have that yet. We'll get that shortly. And so let's create a big pie chart here. Now what we need to recognize is that if I were to start a line from the middle of the circle and make an angle out of it, well, each degree there's 360 degrees in the circle, like is what I'm trying to say. So if I go from here all the way back, it's 360 degrees. So each piece I need to make needs to be some portion of the circle. Well, that's all right, because we can use the percentage to help us. So the Army is going to be 0.4 times 360, or 144 degrees. And so I have a protractor tool on my desk here, but let's go. Let's see. There's 90. Right here would be, there's where I need to go. So I'll draw from there to there. Fortunately, with my software tool, it's not showing you the angle tool. There is a tool called a compass you can use to do this. If you do these in Excel, Excel has the functions. And so there's 40%. And that's the Army, because I made an angle of 144 degrees. And if you use a protractor, which is a device that you can lay down, it can make the angle out of it. Let's figure out how much the Navy has. That's 0.23 times 360. Again, running to my calculator, that's roughly 83 degrees. So I need to make an 83 degrees from there. Let's go back to my angle tool. So let's see, 70, 90, 81, 82, 83. All right. Come down here, and that's 23%, and that's the Navy. Again, most of the time you'll make these charts, you'll use pie charts pie charts in Excel to do it, and it'll calculate the percentages for you. Then I need, let's see, the Marine Corps, which is 0.15 times 360, or approximately 54 degrees. And then the Air Force, I'll do this also, 0.22 times 360, which is 79 degrees. So if I come here, I'm trying to get the visual for my angle tool to show you, but it is not showing up visually in the display. So I will. And that gives us our proportions. And so this is 22% Air Force and 15% Marine Corps. And that's how circle graphs are made. You use the angle measurement to break 360 across. And again, you can look at the book for the tool, and the software has a tool that can help you do angles. Your software will mostly take care of it. The important part is we recognize that this number is part of the whole, and the whole is 360 degrees. And so the angle that gets created from here to here is 144 degrees. The angle that gets created from here to here is 83 degrees. And that the proportion in space that the graph eats up is equal to the proportion in space of the quantity, because that's what we're borrowing here. So we're borrowing the sense of quantity visually.